got into your phone.
Mr. McKinney, what is the name of the seminar?
This
APA?
one is APA.
APA writing or APA something?
Writing.
It's format. APA format. We had MLA formatting the other day. All right, so do I have everybody that has a way of contacting me? Are we good with that? Are you in with Trio?
Yeah.
Cool. What's your name? Ryan. Hi, Ryan. I'm Carrie. Library Carrie. So make certain that you put it in your phone and put it in as Library Carrie because you'll forget my name. You'll just put it in library and then it'll pop up. Okay? All right. Now, someone in the back row. Are you in with Trio?
No.
Oh, but you can pretend that you are.
Okay.
All right? You can be our friend anyway. And I'm really glad that you're here. And I should have opened it up to like everybody because these workshops just kind of help out. If you pay attention to them or not, like the people on this side, they might hear some tips that can help them with that. So number one, I just make certain that everybody can connect to me. And one is a texting. And texting is important because you're anonymous. I don't know who you are when you're texting me. And that sounds weird, but I rarely get like a butt text, or I rarely get a text that is not meant for me, or I never get an inappropriate text, which is really cool. And when I'm asleep, I turn off the sounds to my phone. And I understand that students have information needs that are 24-hour information needs. And how you have to function as a student is with 24 hours in the day. And I know when I'm writing, the only time I can write and concentrate is like 2 in the morning to about 5 in the morning. And I might go home from work and I have to sleep. And I wake up and my mind is clear because it's processed the day. And everybody else is asleep. So I don't have to deal with their needs. And then I can just focus on myself. I don't know if anybody, people might be able to write at all times of the day, but that's how I can focus when I'm in school or when I have reports. And I have reports that are due. I'm on a research project right now. And I challenge myself that way.
Okay, I think that's the
And
one.
there's so many things that are so important to me. But
The
number
very
one,
first,
being able to ask for help
required.
at any time
that
of
was
the day. You're
the
welcome to
management,
text
money
me, you're welcome to
management. Oh,
find
that
me
was already been taken
on
down.
Facebook
Oh, really?
Messenger,
Yeah.
because that's wonderful.
Yesterday was the last day for that one.
Snapchat. I get reference questions on
All right,
Snapchat.
that's all right.
So however you feel like you should be able to contact me, please do. The messenger on Haskell Library, it has like about a 5-minute delay inside there. So you might send me something, but I can't see it for 5 more minutes. And when I respond back, you're still waiting. And then if you respond back to me, I'm still waiting another 5 minutes. So it's almost, that one's really frustrating if you use that one. So just go directly to me on Messenger. And what are some highlights that you learned the last couple days in here? What are, I don't know, maybe Mike knows it all because he like won the quiz. What are some of the things that you remember from the workshop either last night or the night before?
Credo?
Huh?
Credo?
Credo. The Credo reference. So I might touch that. Did you like it? All right, Credo reference. So we got a thumbs up on Credo reference. Anybody else? Remember anything from last night? Just to remember.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Those search engines for the databases.
Yeah.
Those were really helpful.
Yeah. We kind of went. What was yours?
Oh, the EBSCO, so we can put it in our
So those are the different sources. These were sources that we could use. And we kind of went through a process last night. And one was taking your topic and expanding it. So creating like a mind map or word web. And so really taking your topic and searching and looking for all the terms. What was the next thing that we did? We looked for synonyms, you know, when we were creating that mind map, because now I gotta search for it. What words, what vocabulary do I use? So keywords. Then the next thing we did, we went to Credo reference. And on Credo, we went and built our background knowledge. Why, when, and where. So we're looking for credible sources. We were looking for definitions that were excited. And from there, that's where our research starts. So research is like crossing a river where you may be knowledgeable about your topic, and then you might not. Because I know you were doing art history or something, remember? And it's like, what the heck is that? I don't know either. Let's go look it up. You know, I mean, sometimes your teachers give you a topic that you don't know what it is until you see that first rock just jump on when you're crossing that river. So once you're on that rock, you kind of read a little bit. You might not read the entire article. You might read just the first 2 pages of that article. And then your mind starts learning and getting to another step that you can go to that you didn't know before. So the motion of your research is not a straight line. You don't know the next step until you read some more. Okay, now you take the next step. Oh, okay. Does that make sense? Because in science, they always say, oh, I'm going to prove this test, and you go in the straight line to prove that test. So research might be in a straight line in science, but I don't know. It's exciting. To me, it's exciting because we have to use your creativity with it. So say, I'm going to just like start up with Credo reference on there, but then we're going to go into Microsoft Word, and then I'll show you how to format a paper for APA. So that's our goal for the day. Does anybody have a question about MLA or APA? What are they and why do we use them? Does anybody wonder that? Because sometimes you wonder why you even have to have a format. If you're a teacher and you have 50 pages to grade, 50 papers to grade, you want them consistent in some way. And when we have MLA, it's Modern Language Association, and that is used with the humanities. The only way I can remember humanities is anything that a human makes. In art class, they're going to use MLA because that's art. And it's created by a human, thus humanities. If it's writing and literature, they're going to use MLA because it's created by a human and made up. And so they're going to use MLA. APA is American Psychological Association. I'm going to pass this book around. And the American Psychological, this one says Carey's APA Bible. This is my baby right here. You can get one if you want to. If not, you're going to probably go to Purdue OWL. All right. There's a page in here. Notice my favorite page. Ooh, there it is. You can see what is my favorite page inside here. And I have it marked. I'm so excited. And that's my example paper. When I go through this book, maybe somebody like gets me really nerdy and they say, how many words do you use in an abstract? And then you sit there and think, ooh, let me go find out. And you go look it up and you sound all nerdy or something. But most likely when I use this book, I'm going to that sample paper, and I'll show you how to find one online. And I'll look for an example of, man, that's what the front page is supposed to look like. It doesn't look anything like MLA. So I use that sample paper. I'll show you how to find one. Oh, it's ripping out anyway. So I'll pass that around, please. American Psychological Association. If you go into AIS, this is our style that we're going to use. Can I pass it around? AIS, scientists, sociology. If you have Dr. Petrovich, oh, that's my man love. I love Dr. Petrovich. I love his big brain. You're sick of it. Well, I love it. I do. All right. So here we go. I told you I'd show you one of the slides. Did everybody log in? Can everybody log in? Great. Let me know if you can't log in, and then I'll log in for you. So we're going to use Microsoft Word, and we're going to use just the website. If you're opening up Microsoft Word, and you open up this Office suite, take it and drag it. Don't just click it. Take it and drag it. Look at, look. See how it's moving over here? But you can pin it to your taskbar so that you just have to go click, one click, and it's on. But you can like start making adjustments on your computer so it's more friendly. Jaylin, back! Right. I learned a new word today. I think it was like pedagogy. Pedagogy has to do with kids. It's either anagogy or andagogy. It's adult learning. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having that conversation with me so that we started that. So can anybody know the quick shortcut to find an APA paper on Microsoft Word? Who's got it? Because you're welcome to go up there and show us. If you're at the MLA paper, you're going to be able to show us the shortcut to creating an APA paper. You want to show us, Michael? Can you figure it out? Jaylin had it figured out already with MLA. Jaylin, you want to show us? Go drive the boat. Go show us.
You got it.
What's that?
You got it.
No, you got it. Come on, go for it. Come on, teacher girl. Oh, yeah. Come on. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Woo! So if you open up to this page, that's all you got to do. Perfect. Woo! Did you guys remember that forever? And because we showed it to you, your job is to show it to someone else. We could go and listen to the directions, and we started doing that with MLA. But to format an APA paper, all you got to do is hit New, search APA, and then have it create that document. It's different. It's different because the first page is different than the second page. The heading on the first page is different than the second page. How many basketball players do we have out here? Who plays basketball in this room? Okay, can you shoot with just your right hand?
There you go.
Or can you shoot with your right hand and your left hand? Yeah. And the same way, if you're doing research, especially as an undergrad right now, you want to be able to do an MLA paper for when Dr. Love asks for his paper, and then when Dr. Petrovich asks for his paper, you can switch and do it left-handed in APA. So just use that kind of mentality. You're just having some other skills. It's the same thing. You're just providing your teacher a format that is standard across the country in their field of study. And then you get a historian in the mix. They like Chicago. So they're Chicago style. There's like 20-some styles or something. Lawyers, they use it too. So everybody's just learning another skill, right hand, left hand. It's like learning another language. All right, I need this one a little bit smaller. But we're gonna start paying attention to different things when we have this. What we're gonna do with this piece of paper is adapt it, put your name in there so that it's all ready to go, and then you can like attach it to an email or put it on a flash drive so that when it's your turn to make an APA paper, you just start it in, and here's your startup paper, and you can just start. Okay? All right. Let's just look at a little bit different stuff here. One of the things that's different, see that word running head? It stays there. You're always going to have running head on that first page. Why? I don't know. I didn't make up the game. We're just going to follow this game. All right? Someone gets a kick out of this one. Oh, man, look how they have all capital letters there. Our shortened title is going to have all capital letters. All right? And it can't be more than 50 characters. It's just a number. It's just a number. MLA has your name on there. It's just a number. And we're just going to have those 3 lines. We're not even going to tell which teacher it is. MLA has a teacher. So it's just going to be your long title, and then your name, and then Haskell Lincoln Nations University. We will take this out. I don't know one teacher that has asked for this often inside. All right? So let's take out a shortened title and put it in all caps. It could just be short title. It could be my short title. My awesome short title. My super creative awesome short title. Oh, my super creative title that happens to be short. But use all caps. You do that. So that you have it. There's formatting in here I don't like, so I'm going to choose to erase a whole bunch of pages. And then you might choose that you like it later. My super long creative title. I might check that. Who has the book? I want to check my capital letters on that book. Because on the works cited page, the reference page. Okay. So we're using upper and lowercase caps on our letters over there. You're not going to use like your prepositions. My super long creative title. They won't be capitalized. They're capitalized like that. All right. So get your name in there now. And Haskell. And then erase the often. I think in the book, it just says, it's in the top third of the paper. It can be anywhere in the top third of the paper. So that you have your page. You there? Cool. Good. Easy. So erase that author note on there. And then the next page, just scroll down. What's different? What's different? What's different?
It's in a paragraph.
Yeah, we got a paragraph here. What's up with our header? What's missing though? From the other page, running head. Did you ever see anything that had like a different header on page 1 and page 2? So that's the big difference. And that's why I say to just use this. And if you really want to do it the long, hard way, go onto YouTube and say, format APA paper. And then watch the 4-minute video or 7-minute video on how to do it by hand. But and that might happen to you if you have like an older version of Microsoft Word. Google Drive, if you're not buying Microsoft Word, Google Drive has another way of searching, and they do have a template for APA also. All right, so we got an abstract. All right, so no more than 250 words is our summary. And I kind of leave, let's go on to page 3 now. So that I know I start my story on page 3. And I'll tell you what, your teachers, like Dr. Anderson, he'll say, oh, you don't need to put the abstract in at this point. They might. Actually, Dr. Anderson's the opposite. He would say, hand me in your abstract on the first week. And then he'll give you 2 weeks and he'll say, give me your resources. Show me 5 of your resources. And then now summarize those 5 resources. He'll break it up for you so that each step is an assignment. And the next step of the research is another assignment. And it all blends together into a big, beautiful thing.
Yes, that's what we're doing in showing the
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, so you'll just have your abstract do it or something. And some people teach differently. And they say, run your study and then go back and do your abstract. I don't know. I kind of ended my MLA one with a crazy story that my brother Dave said. Like, find out what your teacher likes. Each professor is different. Find out what they like and then give it to them the same exact way. Because Dr. Anderson, Dr. Petrovich, or whoever it is, call them professor. Find out, Google them and find out if they have a PhD. And call them doctor until they say, nah, you can just call me Eric. Okay? Because there's Dr. Raines. He's like, I'm not Mr. Raines. I'm not your PE teacher. I'm Dr. Raines. These people have spent 10 years in higher education to earn a degree that they really love their fields of study. Where it says first, right here, let's erase the entire page. I mean, go down to the very end of your paper. It's probably like 12 pages long. Let's erase that. We're going to get rid of the crack. But it shows us a lot of options. Even the last page, page 5, it says references. We no longer use works cited. On page 5, notice that it says references. Go back up just a little. See how they're references? We no longer use works cited. And they have everything at the end, your appendix. If you needed to put charts and graphs in there, it hangs out on the end. They'll say, see Appendix A. So don't be scared. And now let's save this puppy somewhere. If you want to save it on the desktop for right now, I'm going to save this one on my desktop. And I'm going to say Cornelius, Cornelius, APA start paper. So for every APA paper, I can just grab it and I'll go. I don't have to do this every day. And I could just email it to myself. Keep in mind, if you save it on this computer and you say, ooh, I'm going to come and work out my paper. I have 4 pages done. done, I'm gonna come running in here to sit down, and someone's sitting there. Or else I have one of these goofy glasses going on. It's like, oh, my paper's on there, my paper's on there. Can you ask them to leave? Can I kick you out? Or some people will actually get really creative and start like unpulling things out of the back of these computers so that people walk up and they realize that the screen doesn't work. I'll just move to another one. Any really funny little things in here. But remember that these aren't your computers. Find a way to save your information. If it's a flash drive, then I've heard of a lot of flash drives getting washed and sucked up through the dryer, chewed up by a dog, stepped on, everything. Or having your Google Docs, save it in Google Docs. I don't know, unless you want to do it all over again. You might want to have the plan B, saving it. Save it to your email. You can always get it in your email. It won't disappear. The baby won't eat it. The dog won't eat it. Your roommate won't eat it. All right. So let's go down to page 4 of your document. And I'm just going to say insert page break. Insert page break. I'm not going to hit return. I hit insert page break. And from there, I'm typing in references. And I'm centering it. Back to home. So now I have a place to save all my references. What shall we study tonight? I'm so embarrassed that last night you studied like marijuana and tribal and state law stuff. Which is really big. Winona LaDuke, my hero, that's what she's doing. I don't know about Enbridge crossing her reservation, but is there a topic you want to do? Okay. I'm going to collect some resources. I'm just going to put a couple on there. Maybe I'll get one from Google Scholar. So go into Google Scholar. Does someone have a topic they have to write on right now? What was the topic that you're doing? Or some of the topics of people in class? American Indian sovereignty. What is sovereignty? I have to spell it in front of you. I see it. So I'm going to go into Google Scholar. You go into Google Scholar. It's your friend. Google Scholar just has more scholarly works. It has papers. Go there. Go there.
Does it?
Awesome. Where is it? Just search Google. So if you go into the Z tab, awesome. And if you go to the upper left, you see those 3 lines? I clicked on those 3 lines. I went down to the advanced search. I can see multiple fields now. I'm going to write sovereignty. EI. And then I'm going to put right Earth Code or tribe. But I'm going to note that now I'm paying attention to this. That the second line in here is actually the exact phrase. I'm just kind of de-Googlifying your brain right now instead of that one big box. And I gotta throw Micah something different because he's been here for 3 nights. So he needs to see Google Scholar. And then maybe, I don't know, let's do something with water. Now I'm gonna search. Google Scholar is throwing me all these only gonna have access to this one. Maybe I might find some in here, maybe, if I'm lucky. But I look on this side to see if I'm gonna have access. So my article title is "To Resist and Adapt, Tribal Narratives of Community Sovereignty and Treaty Rights at the Something Island Museum, Library, and Research Center in the Mille Lacs Reservation, probably Ojibwe." So I'm looking at this one. Since it's my, night before the paper's due, I'm gonna grab the one I have access to. That little thing right there, click on it, the quotation mark. Click on it. What do you see? What do you see? Citation, baby! You don't have to create your own citation. So we're going to copy that citation, or whichever keyword that you put in. And now I'm going to put it in my paper. I'm going to go to my reference page. I'm going to put paste. Oh yeah. Maybe that was the book I used. Maybe that was the article that you chose. Just know that you can just click on any of these, any of those, and you're going to find that. Or, book title in there. And it'll give you a citation to your book title. Oh yeah. Isn't that wonderful? It was a Potawatomi girl that showed me that to me. When I was at Washburn, she was at Washburn. Okay, this does not look like a real citation yet though. And the reason why it's not ready is because it's still in Calibri font. It's not matching my font over here. It has an indent right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on this, on the triangle, and choose the middle one. Click on the triangle, choose the middle one. Let's make it pretty, especially for Dr. Petrovic, since I love him. So click on the middle one. Oh yeah, baby, now it's already in Times New Roman, it's matching. I'm gonna take that indent out of there. All right, I'm gonna highlight this and I'm gonna make it look like a citation for your reference page. It's now highlighted. You ready for a bunch of directions? You can do it many ways. We're going to go up. There's a paragraph. Paragraph? That's it. See that little teeny tiny box? We're going to click on the box. And then we're going to go down to indentation. Then over to special and click hanging. See on that? So I clicked on that real little box, indentation, special, to hanging. And that should make it look like a citation. Okay. Very good. I remember I beat myself up for 45 minutes because I didn't know how to find that. I was like, ooh. And I couldn't search it because I didn't know what it was called. It's called a hanging indent on your reference page or your works cited page. It's called a hanging indent. You can use that, or else you can notice that these little things right here are 3. And there's a top, middle, and bottom. And you can like click and drag the bottom over and click and drag that one back. I can't do that when I have coffee though. So does that help? You can go to Google Scholar to find citations. They're not always perfect because there might be mistakes inside there, but it's kind of looking good. Otherwise, Otherwise, we'll use our databases to find it, but that's another 15 minutes. Or 10 minutes, 10 or 12. You guys have any questions? At least we're set up for APA formatting.
Is it recommended not to do bullet points?
What's that?
Is it recommended not to do bullet points?
No bullet points, they want full sentences.
Alright.
And you might want to pull up this, pull up another tab in Google. And I want to show you this really cool thing. On a new tab, if you type in the word attributive verbs, attributive verbs, verbs of attribution. I am a boring writer. Oh no. Stolen them. I'll try it. We're looking for an attributive verb list. I'm gonna try one more because I'm bullheaded. Is that going through for anybody? I'm cut off. Oh my. Love that book, that list. Here's some verbs that make it big, but you'll see what I mean by them in a second. So those words, I always use the word states. This author states. But these are what you can use to come up with different words. This doctor says, it is proven by whatever.